got the dark night blues. I'm feeling awful bad. That's the worst old feeling that a good man must ever had. I follow my fair brown from the depot to the drain. Well, I follow my fair brown from the depot to the drain. And the blues came down like dark night showers of rain. Alright, that was Dark Night Blues by Blind Willie McTell, recorded in 1928. So we're going to begin studies and lessons on Blind Willie McTell all of spring. This is in conjunction with my new ebook release, Blind Willie McTell, the Pre-War Recordings ebook, which is now available on my website. Please look at the link in the information settings. So for the past 2 years, we've been focusing on the gritty Delta blues stylings, slide guitar, Robert Johnson, the Mississippi Hill Country, Fred McDowell. Now we're going to transition into the folk style playing of blues. So more ragtime, more folkish, old-timey playing. And the best way to start off with that is McTell, Blind Willie McTell. McTell is one of my favorite artists. He is sacred to me, and I'm overjoyed to be presenting these lessons. He's a very complicated, very complex player, but this new ebook that is out focuses on 9 selections of his songs across various keys, all in standard tuning, and I'm going to break down what he's doing in each song. So the first lesson to come out of the series is Dark Night Blues. And in order to begin, an acoustic guitar will do for now. I don't want to play with electric guitar. I always advocate for playing with plastic finger picks for the thumb, index, and middle finger. We're going to be utilizing the same finger picking patterns we have throughout all of my lessons. If you haven't looked at it already, look at my beginning finger picking lessons 1 through 4 as a prerequisite to studying this lesson. You will have to be well versed in finger picking methods in order to carry on. Okay, now that we have that established, we'll have to talk about tuning and Blind Willie McTell. Now, the pre-war recordings is what we're going to be focusing on. I'm not a big fan of the Atlanta 12-string guitar, which he released late in his life. The lessons that we're going to be looking at are the early stuff, the pre-war stuff, late 1920s, 1930s. The enigmatic sound that comes out of that is just remarkable. So that's what we're going to be. All of the lessons are transposed over those selections. So no 12-star Atlanta 12-string album does not feature in these lessons. So we'll get that off bat. So in playing McTell's music, he was a big fan of down-tuning his guitar really low. I mean so low. He down-tuned it so low that the strings almost come off the guitar. It's that low. So with these 9 selections of songs, we're somewhere in the middle between down-tuning the guitar. So what you would have from standard E tuning, we're going to be down-tuning the guitar to the lowest pitch will be standard C tuning. So that means the top string being E will be down to C, for example. 2 whole steps down, you'll have to down-tune the guitar. The key to learning McTell's music is exactly that. You're down-tuning your guitar all the time. That's going to be up to you if you want to go that extent, but the way that I have arranged the music is naturally I've tuned it to what is heard in the original recordings for learning purposes. But that is a stipulation of his playing if you want to study on. Okay, so now that we've got that away, tuning is important though, so we need to focus on that time. So on top of that, not only did McTell down-tune his guitar several whole steps or whatnot, but he tended to tune it a semitone up in between the 2 respective pitches. So if you're you down-tune the guitar from E standard to D standard, you'll have to additionally tune up a semitone up between D and D sharp. And this is where my guitar is tuned to exactly right now. So for Dark Knight Blues, if you have the ebook in front of you, Dark Knight Blues is tuned to D standard tuning, yet it is also tuned a semitone up from D, in between D and D sharp. So the first string, you're taking your guitar from an E at the top string, and you're going to down tune it to D plus, a semitone up from D, which is going to sound like this. Okay, so my fifth string is going to be a G plus, a semitone up from G. So you're in between G and G sharp. The fourth string is going to be a C plus. So a semitone up from C, in between C and C sharp. My third string is going to be an F plus, a semitone up from F, in between F and F sharp. My second string is going to be an A semitone up from A, between A and A sharp. And then finally, the bottom string will be a D plus, a semitone up from D. Okay, so now we're tuned together. The song Dark Knight Blues is played in the key of C. You want to anticipate playing the song in the key of C. He uses chords in the key of C as well. So go ahead and play a C chord. So now we're tuned to the Blind Willie McTell song Dark Knight Blues from 1928. Remember, we don't want to play songs featuring out of the Atlanta 12-string guitar album. So look for that, 1928, Dark Knight Blues. We've got our guitar tuned to the original recording, and throughout the lessons to come, in conjunction with this ebook, we're going to be tuning into these strange tunings. The semitone tuning is going to reappear over and over throughout his songs. Again, in learning McTell's music, you have to it's all about tuning, getting the tuning correct. Alright, so that's my spiel about tuning. Now let's begin with the introduction. Okay, so this is what the introduction sounds like. And in order to do that, we have to first remember to position our right hand, the palm hovering over the 6th and 5th strings with your thumb resting over the 5th string. So this is available to play the bass portions of the melody. The index and the middle finger are going to be available to pluck the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings, the treble strings, in conjunction as part of playing the melody and the harmonies in the song. So together you're creating this pinching motion to play the melodies. Again, resort to my learning fingerpicking guitar volumes 1 through 4 from my previous videos to get that right. So we've got the right hand technique correctly, and now to play the introduction, we're going to focus here on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd frets. And it's going to be this combination of pull-offs that are situated in ideas in the key of C. And to begin, this first lick is going to consist of 8 parts. And first what you'll do is you'll finger a C chord with the pinky playing the bottom string 3rd fret. So it's a C/G. Okay? You can do it either by this way. You can strum once down, or with the thumb and the index finger play a double stop combination of the 3rd fret 5th string and the bottom string 3rd fret. So that's the first note, and while he's holding this C position, the 2nd note is just going to play, while holding the C chord here, you're going to play the 2nd string 1st fret as the next note. So the first 2 notes are 1, 2. So when he kicks off these 2 notes, he's having this descending climb up the fretboard to the open string on the 1st string. So the first 2 notes are 1, 2, and then he's going the 3rd note now is going to play the 2nd fret bottom string with the 5th string open together. So that's a double stop. And then the 4th note here is going to be the open string on the 2nd string. So the first 4 notes will be the C chord here with the G at the bottom, the 3rd fret, 1st string, 1. Then you play the 2nd string 1st fret as the 2nd note, 2. Then you shift your fingers, and now with the index, with the middle finger here on the left hand, you play the bottom string 2nd fret with the thumb playing the 5th string, and then the open string on the 2nd fret. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. So those are the first 4 notes of that measure. And then the 5th, 6th, and 7th notes are going to be this pull-off combination lick that starts on the 1st fret bottom string. You play that, and then pull off of there, so you're producing 2 notes in one. 5, 6, and then you play the 2nd string on the 1st fret. 5, 6, 7. And resolve everything on the C note here, the 5th string 3rd fret. So the 8 notes together will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you gradually will get speed in it. When I kick off this introduction, I usually just play the C chord to start it off, the full C chord. So that lick is going to reappear over and over throughout the song. So that's the first part of the introduction. And then the second part of this introduction is stemming away from this descent up the fretboard, and it's going to go to a little riff here based out of the C major scale, and it's going to sound like this. This is the next part. Okay, pretty straightforward and easy. So to play this is going to consist of 7 notes in all. So what you're going to do to play this portion is you play the open string on the 3rd string, then you play the 2nd fret 3rd string, right? And then you shift down to the 2nd string and you're going to play the 1st fret 2nd string. Then the 4th note's going to be the 3rd fret 2nd string. And then you'll play that one more time and bend on that string. So the first 5 notes here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're bending up and down on the 3rd fret 2nd string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you go back to the 1st fret 2nd string and then resolve on the 3rd string 2nd fret as the next note, and then you finally resolve it in the 1st fret 2nd string. So all 8 notes will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And pay attention to the timing. So pretty straightforward and easy. It's laid out clearly on the tablature, very easy to follow. So when you put it together, it will sound all like this from the beginning. So those are those 2 riffs. And after this portion, this part of the riff, he then goes to the C note here on the 5th string 3rd fret, to which he goes and plays this riff again afterwards. So this riff here appears twice in the introduction, and it appears right after this part. So from the beginning it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to that lick again. So you come back to that lick once more, and then you finish off the measure with 3 strums on this, on the C chord / G. Your pinky is holding down the bottom string on the 3rd fret. So from the beginning it's 1, 2, 3. 3 strums at the end. 1, 2, 3. And that is the introduction. Those licks and riffs are going to reappear throughout the stanzas. So I think that we've captured a majority of the work. The rest is very straightforward and easy. Now we're going to go to learn about what's being played in the verse. Okay, so after the introduction, he goes into the verse, and it'll sound like this. I got the dark night blues, I'm feeling awful bad. Alright, so if you have the ebook available to you, you're seeing a chord diagram of 4 chords here. You have C, C7, F, and F6, which are chords that are going to reappear throughout the song. So in order to play this verse, in the portion where he sings, I got the dark night blues, you're essentially playing a C7 chord. And And you're playing this kind of alternating finger picking pattern as he's singing it. So it's a combination of five strums, 5 patterns here. And it'll sound like this. I got the dark night blues. Now you can finger pick that or just strum it. I got the dark night blues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got the dark night blues. C7, and then you're going to shift your fingering of the chord to an F chord, but not barred, but the small F, with the thumb grabbing the top string, first fret. And then in this portion he sings, I'm feeling awful bad. So the first part is the C7, I got a dark night blues. I'm feeling awful bad. Alright? So when he shifts down to play this F chord, and it's laid out here on the ebook, how you should finger it, he also, half of that part, he takes his pinky and he plays over the 2nd string on the 3rd fret, which now makes it an F6 chord. And this is what McTell liked to do, is play this little note here, give it that accent. This is going to reappear in a lot of his work, is this F6 chord. But it's something there to just accentuate the verse here, give it a little bit more oomph. So the two together is, I'll do it from the beginning. He sings the C7. I got the dark night blues. F, I'm feeling F6 awful bad. And then when he sings bad, he goes back to the C major chord. So it's C7, F, F6, C. I got the dark night blues. I'm feeling awful bad. And in the portion where he's singing awful is when he plays this F6 chord. Awful bad. Pretty simple. And it's best to utilize the finger picking patterns here. And this is where it resonates well with his works. Alright, so when he plays that first verse, he plays those chords, F6 to C, then he goes back to this combination pull-off licks descending on the fretboard. He plays that part right after that. I got a dark night blues, I'm feeling awful bad. He plays that lick after that. And then after he plays this lick, he goes back to a C7 chord this time. And he plays 3 strums there. Whereas in the introduction, we played 3 strums with the C/G. Here he plays a C7. And I'll kind of put it together as how it plays out here. So it's, I got the dark night blues, I'm feeling awful bad. C7 is the 2 strums there. Okay, and then the next portion of the verse is he's leading into the 4 position of the song. And the 4 position is going to be staying in these chords in F and F6. So in this installation, he continues, I got a dark night blues, I'm feeling awful bad, back to C. So in this portion, it's a combination of 5 strums on the F and F6. I got the dark night blues, I'm feeling awful bad, to C. So the two verses from the beginning will sound like this. I got a dark night blues, C7. I'm feeling awful bad. I got the dark night blues, F, F6, F, C. Okay, so you're continuing on in that second part of the verse. In the 4 position, you're still staying in F. So in the second part of the verse, again, it's this. You're staying in F. I got the dark night blues. I'm feeling awful, F6, awful bad. And when he sings bad, he's back in C. And then he plays this riff again. And then he ends with 3 strums on this C chord with the bottom string 3rd fret, C/G. I got a dark night blues, I'm feeling awful bad. And that's the 2 verses in the song. And again, these are things that he repeats across all of the stanzas in the song. Very easy to play. That's why we're starting these lessons off with this song first, because it's going to get a lot more complicated moving forward. Now we're going to look at the 5 position of the song. Okay, moving forward, we're going to look at the 5 position, which is going to look a little bit like this. So I'll play it from here. I got a dark night blues, I'm feeling awful bad. That's the worst old feeling that a good man was ever had. And we're going to be looking at this part. That's the worst old feeling that a good man was ever had. This part is a little bit tricky, but what you need to do in this installation is finger a G7 chord with your pinky being available to play the notes on the bottom string 3rd fret. And you're finger picking with the right hand in this motion. So it's going to be a little bit tricky here, but it's going to be a combination of 8 notes here to kick off. You're going to be holding a G7 chord. Your pinky is going to be free to come off this bottom string 3rd fret. Pinching together the top string and the bottom, my index finger and the bottom string together. And what he does here is he holds the G7 chord. He has 8 notes here. You're going to play the first 4 notes will be like this. You play the G7 with the bottom string and the 3rd fret being fingered. 1, then come off of that. Then play with your pinky finger the 2nd string 3rd fret. Back. And then come off of that and play the bottom string, so a G7 chord. So the first 4 notes are 1, then G7, then with the pinky play the 2nd string 3rd fret, then back to a G7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and then the next 4 notes are going to play the top string 3rd fret, 5, then back to G7 for that 6th note, then back to top string 3rd fret, then with the pinky play the G7/G. So those combos will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so the 8 notes here will be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this portion, it can be played pretty fluidly. It's like a finger picking pattern. It's played loosely as it sounds in the original recording. So those 8 notes, again, I'll go slow, will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 8. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the second part of that is this wind down on the first string, going from the 3rd, 2nd, 1st fret open, and it will be it'll sound like this. All right, and you want to probably hold the top string 3rd fret when you do that. So the next installation of notes will be, there's 6 notes in all. So you're going to play the bottom string 3rd fret, then you're going to shift over to the bottom string 2nd fret and play that note twice. And then you're going to play this lick on the 1st fret bottom string, pull off, play that open string, and then back to this 1st fret 2nd string. So in all it will be so altogether what it sounds like is, that's the worst old feeling that a good man most ever had. I know it's a little bit tricky here, so again I'll go real slow. That's the worst old feeling that a good man most ever had. That's a good old feeling that a good man most ever had. Worst old feeling that a good man most ever had. So it's about getting this. Right? So it's about getting that wind down in position. Again, it's played loosely. Always have this G7 going about. This is also similar to what I discussed in Poor Me Blues by Charlie Patton, the same sort of idea. So in this portion where he's saying, that's the worst old feeling that a good man most ever had. He ends on that C chord, most ever had. Then he plays this lick. This part of the riff. So again, this 5-position song is also pretty tricky, but I think we got it right. Remember, it's holding a G7 with the pinky being free to play the notes on the bottom string 3rd fret. That's the worst old feeling that a good man must ever had. And you play that lick, by these strums on the C/G. Worst old feeling that a good man must ever had. So that's the 5 position on the song, which reappears against across the other stanzas as well. Okay, so the next stanza follows similarly as the first. So it'll be, I follow my fair brown from the depot to the train. So again, it's this C7. I follow my fair brown C7 from the depot F to the train F6 to the train C, C7, F, F6, C. To F. I follow my fair brown from the F6 to the depot to the train C. Alright, so we had that down. Yeah, so from the depot to the train, plays this lick. You're reinserting the licks over and over again. And then he comes back to this 5 position, which we talked about, is, and the blues came down like dark night showers of rain. And the blues came down like dark night showers of rain. And then he plays this lick afterwards, which is different from the first stanza, is he, after he plays this, goes back to this lick. Alright, so that's Dark Night Blues. Further on in the song, he does things where he stays on the F chord. He plays a kind of an instrumental break where it's, and then even further on in the stanzas, he plays a different finger picking combination where it's you'll hear it at the end there is something of that motion or whatnot. Alright, so again, key Dark Night Blues, key of C, and picking out those parts effectively. It's a very easy song to play. Again, you're utilizing the finger-picking components to getting it down pat. So this is the first lesson to feature out of this new ebook release. We're going to come back next time around with another great lesson, but definitely check out this new ebook. It's a fantastic masterpiece, 80 pages long, and we're going to be knocking down McTell this spring. Thank you very much.